Hey, Austin, it's Liz King here, and I'm a realtor. I've had some clients reaching out about, trying to figure out when's the right time to jump into the market. So I just thought I'd share a few of the pieces that I found, a little bit of the research that I've been doing, because I do think it's actually a great time for buyers to jump in. So without further ado, where are we as of January 2023? So I found this in Austin Business Journal, and I thought it just nails it. Buyers rejoice. Austin area housing market ends a streak of record-setting prices and sales. Ooh, it's been a rough couple of years for buyers, and really, sellers have had this great run where they've made so much money and had so much equity in their homes. It's buyers' turn now. We are seeing buyers that have gotten into some beautiful homes, probably nicer homes than a year ago, and they haven't had to pay full price or have had some negotiating power. And so it's been a really great opportunity for buyers to jump in. This chart, same thing from Austin Business Journal. I thought it was really interesting. The green vertical lines are all of the median sales price around Austin. And, obviously we see the upward trend. We see that there have been some kind of little peaks here. This is May 2021, May 2022. That was the height of our market. And ever since then, we've seen a little bit of a dip. And really, I think that let's take a look at the other piece here. These little data points are inventory available around the city. So, there was plenty of inventory, and then during COVID, we had this like absolute absence of inventory, which which made prices shoot up. And so buyers really had to compete to get into homes. There were none available. Some of them were kind of run down. You still had to pay top dollar. There is inventory now. We've had, ever since the Fed started raising the interest rate, we have more inventory available, which means buyers have more power than they did. So again, it's a nice time for buyers in our market. And then same thing, I loved this little piece here. The outlook is something akin to normalcy. I think we need to retrain ourselves, reframe our housing search, reframe kind of our expectations, because our market is it's getting back to where it was kind of always supposed to be without COVID. So, there's the prediction that, sales will actually fall next year. Basically, people won't want to sell for a lower dollar amount, so they just won't sell their home. Or we'll see kind of some moderate growth rather than the explosive growth that was so dramatic. It will be slowed down some. A couple pieces I wanted to point out for you. Number one, we are seeing 36% less sales than 1 year ago. So again, that was during the height of the market. That was when everything in Austin was cranking. There's less stress, less frantic energy in our market. The median sales price is up 0% from last year. What that accommodates is there was a big rise, and now prices have come back to kind of a normal place. So we don't see this tremendous growth from last year. And then look at this, the homes on the market. We have 225% more homes on the market. Homes are sitting. More homes are coming on the market, so we have more available. Good for buyers. And we'll talk about sellers in a few minutes. Quickly, home buying now versus 2021. Let's acknowledge that rates are higher. We had sub-3 rates for so long that it started to feel normal, and really, historically, that's not been normal rates. So that pushed this frenetic rush into property. Well, now again, things are normalizing. There are some benefits to buyer situations now. Obviously, we have more inventory, more choice. Buyer can go back and see a home a second time, decide if it's worth it to them. That wasn't always the case. Less multiple offer situations, which again gives buyers more power in negotiating. If you know that you're the only offer out there, all of a sudden a buyer can ask for things. And for so long, I couldn't even ask for anything from my buyers. I just was like, please, please, please choose us. Now we actually have some buyer power. Again, prices have come down to accommodate those higher interest rates and more competition. We're still having inspections, but now you can even have potentially some contingencies to your offer couldn't have that before. And then last but not least is just, I think sellers are realizing that they can contribute to the buyer's interest rates and lower those interest rates. There's something called a 2-1 buy down. The sellers contribute to the loan, or to the lender. So that way the first year the rate is 2% less than it would be. The second year it's 1% less. And then the third year the true rate kicks in. The hope is that within that time frame, rates will also come down some and the buyer can possibly refinance. So I mean, like, that's something that we just never talked about in the past couple of years, and now that's possibly available. So if buying is if that's one of the goals of 2023, let's talk about a couple things that you should be doing. Number one, work on that credit. So your interest rate is going to be dictated by your credit score. So the lower the score, the better. So that means don't go buy a new car, new furniture. Try to make do at least until you have closed on your home. And pay off any high credit. Try to get your credit score as good as possible. Planning for your down payment. Obviously, it'd be great if you have 20%. But if you don't, just know that I have buyers this past year who have put down as little as 5% all the way up to like 15%. That's totally normal as well. And so that, you don't have to have the 20% down, but start, trying to save. Getting pre-approved, so important. I don't want to show you things you can't afford. I don't want to show you things that are too expensive and it sets your expectations, out of whack. So instead, make sure you know what you can afford, so that way you start looking at homes in that price point, and then we find something that's a good fit. And then lastly, prioritizing your wants and needs. Obviously, it kind of just helps you to understand a good house when you see it. So if you see a house that has your whole must-have list, and then has a lot of your nice-to-have list, and even a few of those dream pieces, jump on it. It helps you to recognize a good deal when you see one. Okay, so things are still selling even in our slower market. It's just that I'm going to put a little asterisk there. Things are selling if they kind of fall into one of these categories. Number one, an updated home. Obviously, buyers are watching their HGTV and they're seeing things that look beautiful, ready to go, and are turnkey. So, those types of homes generally sell very well. They will always sell well, just at the right price. Teardowns in Austin will sell. It's just that we need to price them appropriately. So pricing a house as a house to live in versus pricing it as land can function differently. So, if your house is likely a teardown, lean in, make sure you price it right. And, that was in my neighborhood recently. There were like 2 or 3 that just sold at teardown price. And then this notion of a house being well priced. Look, we can look at data. I can look at what homes have sold for and what the market should do. But just understand that, we need to be realistic about what's going on globally, locally, nationally, and the economic climate. And so I think that pricing your home to be competitive with, you are competing against the other homes on the market. If you want to sell quickly and be able to move forward, price it right. And the other thing too is just understand that if you price high, then if it doesn't sell, new homes are going to come on the market and they're going to try to undercut you. So pricing a house to sell the first time, will always be in your favor. Okay, so last but not least, if your house is ready for those choosy buyers, wonderful. If it needs a little work, this is your moment. Like, call a contractor, or spend some weekends refreshing some things. So the 2 biggest things that make a really huge impact, floors and paint, and paint then floors. A crisp kind of neutral color on the walls will always go over well. And then, if flooring's in the budget, like, refresh those floors that have been bugging you, refresh those floors. The buyers will recognize that as they walk in and will view the house much more positively. And then, so take advantage of this time. You'd love to be on the market around March or April. That generally is the height of the market. And then if you need help with this process, please let me know. Email me at liz@douglasresidential.com and I'll help you find the keys to your next kingdom.